At my child's birthday party, my entitled sister announced her pregnancy and demanded my baby's nursery, claiming I could just buy another one. My parents backed her up and called me selfish, so I emptied the room, listed the house for sale, and watched their shock as they showed up with her stuff to find a for sale sign on the lawn. You know that moment when something just snaps inside you? When years of injustice, of being taken for granted, finally hit a breaking point. For me, it was watching my own sister on my daughter's first birthday, wearing a flowing white dress, a dress that screamed pregnancy announcement. And then, just as I was about to help my baby blow out her candle, she dropped a bombshell that shattered everything. It wasn't just a betrayal, it was a full-on declaration of war, and I knew, in that instant, things were about to change forever. My name's Ruby, and for 32 years, I'd been that person. The responsible one. The good daughter. The one who always had her life together, while my younger sister, Sarah, well, Sarah careened from one epic disaster to the next, leaving our parents to pick up the pieces, over and over again. But that day, watching her hijack my baby's first birthday with such practiced, calculated precision, something deep inside me just broke. Everyone, I have amazing news. Sarah's voice, dripping with saccharine sweetness, sliced through the cheerful happy birthday song like a jagged knife. My hands froze on the cake knife, the sugar-sweet melody dying in my throat. 20 pairs of eyes, moments ago fixed on my beautiful daughter in her puffy pink tutu, now swung to my beaming sister. My heart hammered against my ribs. I'm pregnant. The gasps were immediate. The squeals, deafening. My mother, bless her heart, burst into tears, rushing to embrace Sarah like she'd just won the lottery. My dad stood there, a goofy grin plastered on his face, practically preening. I felt Harper, my best friend, squeeze my shoulder. Her silent support was a lifeline in that swirling chaos. Mama, Lily's tiny voice, so innocent and confused, pulled me back to earth. She sat in her high chair, her chubby fingers reaching for the vibrant rainbow sprinkle cake we'd spent hours perfecting. All she wanted was her cake, her moment. Just a minute, sweetie, I managed, forcing a smile that felt like it was tearing my face. Looks like Aunt Sarah has some big news. My mother, still clinging to Sarah, gushed. Oh my God, this is just perfect timing. Now the cousins will be so close in age. Sarah untangled herself, that familiar, calculating glint in her eyes, the one that always preceded a truly outrageous ask. She floated toward me. Actually, Ruby, I've been thinking, here we go. I braced myself. You know how Chad and I are still trying to figure out our living situation? She gestured vaguely towards her on-again, off-again boyfriend, Chad, who was busy stuffing his face with chips in the corner, utterly oblivious. Well, your house has that beautiful nursery you designed for Lily. I gripped the cake knife tighter, my knuckles white. What about it? My voice was dangerously calm. Well, Lily's getting bigger now, and you have that spare room upstairs that would make such a cute big girl room for her. Her voice took on that wheedling, manipulative tone I knew so well. Maybe you could just let me have the nursery? You can just build another one upstairs. The room went silent. You could literally hear Lily's soft babbling. Harper tensed beside me, ready to pounce, but I held up a hand, stopping her. Let me get this straight, I said, my voice eerily calm, almost flat. You want me to give you my nursery? The one I spent months designing and decorating for my daughter. Well, yeah. Sarah brightened, clearly mistaking my tone for agreement. The audacity. It makes perfect sense. You're established. You're doing so well with your job, and I really need the help right now. Chad's between opportunities, and you mean he's unemployed again? Harper muttered under her breath. God, I love that woman. Ruby, my mother cut in, her voice hushed. Your sister needs family support right now. You know how hard pregnancy can be, especially when you're, she paused, glancing at Chad, then continued, dealing with various challenges. My father nodded sagely, as if this was some profound wisdom. It would really help your sister out, Ruby. And you've always been so good at handling things. I looked around the room, at my parents' expectant faces, beaming with pride at Sarah's news, completely blind to the blatant manipulation. At Chad's disinterested slouch. At Sarah's practiced pout. Then, I looked at Lily, still waiting patiently for her cake, trusting that Mama would make everything right. Something shifted inside me. Years of being the responsible one, the reliable one, the one who always gave in, who sacrificed her own needs for Sarah's latest drama. It all crystallized into a diamond-hard resolve, cold and unyielding. I smiled. A cold, chilling smile that didn't reach my eyes. Of course, Sarah. You can bring her things next weekend. Sarah squealed, throwing her arms around me in a crushing hug. My parents beamed with approval, like I'd just handed them $1 million. Only Harper looked concerned, knowing me well enough to recognize the dangerous edge in my tone. Now, I said, turning back to my daughter, the knife suddenly feeling heavy and purposeful in my hand. Let's cut this cake, shall we? As everyone gathered around to sing again, I caught Harper's questioning look. I gave her a slight nod, a silent message that screamed, watch me. Just watch what happens next. Because what my dear family didn't know was that I'd finally learned something important. Sometimes, being the responsible one means taking responsibility for your own happiness. And sometimes, just sometimes, that means burning it all down to the ground. I helped Lily blow out her candle, already planning how to light a much, much bigger fire. You're not seriously considering giving her the nursery, are you? Harper set down her coffee mug with enough force to make the cafe table rattle. 3 days had passed since the birthday party disaster, and my best friend's patience was wearing thinner than mine. Of course not, I replied, stirring my latte absently. But you should have seen the texts I got this morning. Sarah's already picking out paint colors. Harper pulled out her phone. Show me. I handed over mine, watching her scroll through the endless stream of messages from my sister. Pictures of cribs, wallpaper samples, nursery themes, the whole kit and caboodle flooded the screen, interspersed with comments like, this is exactly what I want, and we should start moving things out this weekend. Jesus, Harper muttered, shaking her head. She really thinks she's getting your house, doesn't she? A memory flashed through my mind. Sarah, 16, taking my prom dress without asking because she needed it more for her junior formal. Me, standing in my closet, finding the dress returned with wine stains and a torn hem. Remember when she worked for me? I asked, watching a young mother at the next table trying to wrangle her toddler. 3 months at my company, and she nearly cost us our biggest client because she couldn't be bothered to show up on time. And your parents said you were being too hard on her, Harper finished, already knowing the punchline. Because she was going through a rough patch with what's his name? Dylan, I supplied. Before Chad. After Trevor, but before Marcus. The one you paid rent for. No, that was Josh, Harper corrected. Dylan was the one you bailed out of jail after he got drunk and tried to steal a police horse. I laughed, but it came out hollow, a bitter chuckle. God, I sound like a human ATM, don't I? Harper leaned forward, her expression serious. Ruby, honey, you're not an ATM. You're a doormat. And I say that with love. My phone buzzed again. This time it was my mother. Sarah's so excited about the nursery. We should all go shopping this weekend. Your father and I can help with the renovation costs for Lily's new room. I showed Harper the message. Her eyes narrowed. They really think they can just redistribute your house. They've been redistributing my life since I was old enough to have something worth taking, I said, the words coming out sharper than I intended, fueled by a lifetime of resentment. When I got my first job at 16, guess who had to share her paychecks? When I got my college acceptance letters, guess who had to defer a year so Sarah could have her dream gap year in Europe? Which she quit after 3 weeks, Harper added dryly. And who paid for the emergency flight home? I raised my hand like a student answering a question. This girl. My phone buzzed again. This time, it was a real estate listing from Ivy, my agent. A beautiful 3-bedroom condo across town, newly renovated, with a view of the park. Harper peered at the screen. What's that about? I stood up, gathering my things. That's my next appointment. Want to come see what karma looks like? 20 minutes later, we stood in an empty living room, flooded with natural light. Ivy, clipboard in hand, watched me run my fingers along the smooth quartz countertops in the kitchen. The sellers are motivated, she said. They consider a quick close if the offer's right. I walked to the smaller bedroom, already picturing Lily's toys scattered across the hardwood floors. It was smaller than her current nursery, but it had a window seat, perfect for reading stories. Ruby, Harper called from the master bedroom. Come look at this view. I joined her at the window, taking in the sprawling park below. No shared walls with entitled siblings. No space for family to crash indefinitely. Just peace. What about your house? Harper asked quietly. I pulled out my phone, showing her the text I'd drafted to Ivy earlier. List it. Price it to sell fast. And don't tell anyone in my family. Ivy appeared in the doorway, her professional mask cracking slightly to reveal a wide, triumphant smile. Are we doing this? I thought about Sarah's white dress at the party. About my daughter's confused face when her special day was hijacked. About 32 years of being the responsible one, the reliable one, the good daughter. It's go time, I whispered, hitting send on the text. Harper wrapped an arm around my shoulders. You know they're going to lose their minds, right? I watched a young couple playing with their dog in the park below, free and happy in their own space. Maybe it's time they learned what it feels like to lose something they thought they were entitled to. Shall I draw up the paperwork? Ivy asked, her pen ready. I nodded, feeling lighter than I had in years. Make it ironclad. No family discounts this time. The nursery looked different in the harsh light of my phone's camera. Each click captured another piece of evidence, proof that this room had been lovingly created for Lily, not commandeered as a gift for Sarah. Ivy had suggested documenting everything before the sale listing went live. And this is where the changing table used to be. I narrated quietly, panning across the mint green wall with its hand-painted butterflies. Before I moved it to make room for the free sign I'm about to put on it, a soft knock at the door made me jump. "Ruby, honey, are you home?" My mother's voice. Of course. I quickly shut off the camera and shoved my phone in my pocket. "Coming." I opened the front door to find both my parents standing there, matching concerned expressions on their faces. My father held a takeout bag from my favorite Thai place, their standard peace offering. "We brought lunch," my mother said, already pushing past me into the house. "And we wanted to talk about Sarah's nursery." I bit back a correction. Not Sarah's nursery. Never Sarah's nursery. Instead, I smiled. Perfect timing. I was just organizing things upstairs. They followed me to the kitchen, where my mother immediately began unpacking containers of pad thai and green curry. My father settled into his usual chair, the one that would be gone in less than a week. So, my mother started, sliding a container toward me. "Sarah's been showing me some lovely ideas for the room. She's thinking of a woodland theme, very gender-neutral since they don't know what they're having yet." I stabbed a piece of chicken with my fork. "That sounds nice. We know this is a big change," my father added. "But your mother and I have been talking. We'd like to help with the renovation costs for Lily's new room. Make it really special for her." "That's so generous," I said, the words tasting like ash in my mouth. "But actually, I've been thinking about Sarah's situation." My mother perked up. "Oh, you're right. She needs support right now. And this house, well, it has so much space. Too much space, really, for just Lily and me." I watched their faces light up with approval and felt a twisted satisfaction. "I've decided to make some changes to help accommodate everyone." "Oh, Ruby." My mother reached across the table to squeeze my hand, her eyes shining. "I knew you'd understand. You've always been so practical." A thump from upstairs made us all look up. Lily, waking from her nap. "I'll get her," I said quickly. But my mother was already standing. "Let me. I want to see my grandbaby." I listened to her footsteps on the stairs, counting the seconds until she'd reached the nursery. The nursery where half the furniture was already gone, carefully documented and stored in a rental unit across town. "The realtor thinks it'll sell within days," I whispered to myself. "What was that, honey?" my father asked, oblivious. "Nothing," I said, forcing a cheerful tone. "Just thinking out loud about paint samples." My mother's voice drifted down from upstairs. "Ruby, where's the rocking chair?" "Oh, I moved it," I called back, my voice sickeningly sweet. Making space for Sarah's things. I heard Lily's happy babbling as my mother brought her downstairs. My daughter took one look at me and announced, with perfect toddler clarity, "Bye-bye house." My heart stopped. "What does she mean, bye-bye house?" my mother asked, settling Lily into her high chair. I forced a laugh, a high-pitched, fake sound. "Oh, you know toddlers. She's been saying that to everything lately. Bye-bye spoon. Bye-bye cup. It's her new favorite phrase." My father chuckled, but my mother's eyes narrowed slightly. I busied myself wiping invisible crumbs from the counter. "When did you say Sarah could start moving things in?" she asked. "Next weekend," I replied smoothly. "I thought we could make a day of it. Get everyone to help." "That's wonderful." My mother's suspicion evaporated, replaced by genuine delight. "I'll call Sarah right now. She'll be so excited." As she stepped into the living room to make the call, my father leaned in close. "You're doing the right thing, Ruby. Family has to stick together." I nodded, thinking of the offer Ivy had texted me this morning. $30,000 over asking price. Cash buyers. Willing to close in 10 days. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Ivy again. Offer accepted. I glanced at my parents. My mother gushing into her phone, my father contentedly eating his lunch, both so certain of their right to redistribute my life. Both so sure I would never say no. "Take it." I typed back. Lily caught my eye from her high chair and grinned. "Bye-bye house," she said again, waving her little hand. I smiled back, my heart racing with equal parts guilt and liberation. "That's right, baby girl," I whispered. "Bye-bye house, and bye-bye to a whole lot more." "You're evil," Harper laughed, slapping another Sarah's Things label on an empty box. "Pure evil. I love it." We'd spent the afternoon filling boxes with old newspapers, making them look convincingly heavy. Each one was carefully labeled: Sarah's books, Sarah's winter clothes, Sarah's kitchen stuff. The moving company would be here tomorrow to take my actual belongings to the new condo. But these decoy boxes? Oh, these would stay, completing the delicious illusion that I was making space for my sister. "The best part," I said, taping up another box. Sarah texted asking if she could store some things here early. I told her there was plenty of room. Does she have any actual things to store? Nope. But she'll show up with Chad's gaming console and 3 trash bags of laundry, just like last time. Harper snorted. How many times has she temporarily moved in with you? 4. I checked my phone. No, 5. I forgot about the time she got kicked out of that yoga instructor's apartment. The one she was dating while still living with Marcus? That's the one. Lily toddled past us, dragging her favorite stuffed elephant. Bye-bye house, she called out cheerfully. Harper and I froze. Ruby. My mother's voice came from the front door. Ruby, are you home? Quick, I hissed, shoving the empty boxes behind the couch. Act natural. My mother appeared in the doorway just as Harper sprawled dramatically across the floor, pretending to play with Lily. Oh, look who's here. My mother cooed at Lily, who immediately ran to her grandmother. And Harper too. Are you helping Ruby organize? You know me. Harper replied smoothly, her face a mask of innocent helpfulness. Always happy to help with family stuff. My mother's eyes swept the room, taking in the stack of labeled boxes. Oh good. You're making space for Sarah. She's so excited about moving in. She's already ordered a crib. I felt my eye twitch. She ordered a crib? Yes, it's being delivered next week. I hope that's okay. She used your address since she's staying with Chad right now, and his place is, she wrinkled her nose. Not exactly delivery friendly. Perfect, I said through gritted teeth. Just perfect. Bye-bye house. Lily announced again, pointing at the window where, thankfully, the for sale sign hadn't been installed yet. My mother frowned. She's still saying that? Ruby, do you think she's picking up on some anxiety about the changes? Maybe we should have a family meeting to discuss the transition. No, Harper and I said simultaneously. I recovered quickly, forcing a bright smile. There's no need. Everything's under control. We're all very excited about Sarah moving in, right, Harper? Harper's smile could have cracked glass. So excited. Well, I just stopped by to drop off these paint samples Sarah picked out. My mother placed a fan of color swatches on the coffee table. She's thinking mint green might be too basic. She was thinking more of a royal purple. I thought about the mint green walls I'd spent weeks perfecting. The ones currently being photographed for the listing. How unique. Bye-bye house, Lily said again, pointing at the window. My mother gathered her purse. I should go. Your father's making dinner tonight. But Sarah might stop by later to measure the windows for curtains. After she left, Harper and I collapsed onto the couch. That was close, she breathed. But Ruby, you have to do something about Lily's new catchphrase before she blows your cover. I know. I picked up my daughter, who immediately started playing with my hair. But she's not wrong. We are saying bye-bye to the house, and to the family's endless expectations. My phone buzzed. A text from Ivy. Sign installation tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. sharp. You ready for this? Harper asked softly. Once that sign goes up, there's no going back. I looked around at the stage boxes, the paint samples, the space that had never really been mine because my family had always felt entitled to it. Then I looked at my daughter, innocent and happy, unaware that her mother was about to burn every bridge we'd ever crossed. You know what the worst part is? I said, bouncing Lily on my knee. They're so convinced I'll never say no, that they're not even bothering to ask permission anymore. They're just taking. Not for much longer, Harper reminded me. My phone buzzed again. Sarah this time. Found the perfect chandelier for my nursery. Ordering it now? You don't mind if they deliver it there next week, right? Love you. I showed Harper the text. She raised an eyebrow. Want me to help you stack more empty boxes? Yes, I said, setting Lily down. And then we're going to practice saying a new phrase. Right, baby girl? Lily looked up at me with her big brown eyes. Bye-bye house. No, sweetie. This time, we're saying bye-bye Sarah. I watched through my living room window as Sarah's rented U-Haul truck pulled into my driveway. Right on schedule. My sister sat in the passenger seat, one hand resting on her barely visible baby bump, while Chad attempted a three-point turn that nearly took out my mailbox. My parents' car pulled in right behind them. Ready? Harper whispered from beside me. She'd insisted on being here for moral support, though I suspected it was more for the entertainment value. Almost. I checked my phone. The movers had finished clearing out my actual belongings hours ago. The new condo was ready. Lily was safely at daycare. Everything was in place, just waiting for the perfect moment. Outside, Sarah hopped down from the truck, her face lighting up at the sight of the nursery furniture I'd carefully arranged on the curb with a large free sign. My mother was already heading for the front door, key ring in hand. The key I'd conveniently forgotten to ask her to return months ago. The doorbell rang. Places, I muttered to Harper, who retreated to the kitchen with her phone, ready to record. I opened the door to find my entire family on the porch, beaming like they'd just won a prize. We're here, Sarah announced, pushing past me into the house. Chad, grab those boxes by the door. They're labeled for the nursery. Mom, did you bring the paint samples? And Ruby, we need to talk about that chandelier delivery. She stopped dead in her tracks. The entrance hall was completely, utterly empty. No boxes, no furniture, no pictures on the walls. Ruby? My mother's voice wavered, a hint of confusion in her tone. What's going on? I smiled sweetly, a smile that felt like ice. Oh, did I forget to mention? The house has been sold. The silence that followed was deafening. You could have heard a pin drop. What? Sarah's voice came out as a squeak, high-pitched and disbelieving. The house is sold. I pointed to the massive for sale sign in the front yard, now sporting a bright red sold sticker across it. Closing is next week. But, Sarah's face went from confusion to a blazing, furious rage in record time. You can't sell the house. What about the nursery? What about my baby? Your baby? I laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. You mean the baby you're having with your unemployed boyfriend, for whom you expected me to give up my daughter's nursery? That baby. Ruby, my father stepped forward, adopting his reasonable voice, the one he used when he wanted me to fall in line. Let's talk about this. You can't just make decisions like this without consulting the family. Actually, I can. My voice was firm, unyielding. It's my house. My name on the deed. My mortgage payments. My decision. Sarah burst into tears, the dramatic, wailing kind she perfected since childhood. How could you do this to me? I'm pregnant. Where am I supposed to go? Not my problem. I gestured to the furniture on the curb. But feel free to take the nursery set. Consider it my baby shower gift. My mother grabbed my arm, her grip tight. Ruby, stop this nonsense right now. You're being cruel. Cruel? I pulled away from her grip, my voice rising, fueled by years of pent-up anger. Cruel is hijacking my daughter's first birthday party to announce a pregnancy. Cruel is assuming you can just take over my home because Sarah needs another handout. Cruel is never, ever asking what I want or need because you're all too busy taking. But we're family. Sarah sobbed, her face a tear-streaked mess. No, I said quietly, the rage suddenly draining, replaced by a cold, hard clarity. We're not. We're just people who share DNA and a long history of me giving while you take. Chad, who had been silent until now, finally spoke up, a pathetic whine in his voice. So, we drove this U-Haul out here for nothing? Not nothing. Harper called from the kitchen doorway, her phone still recording, a triumphant smirk on her face. There's some lovely free furniture on the curb. Better hurry, though. I posted it on Facebook Marketplace an hour ago. As if on cue, a car pulled up to the curb, and a young couple started loading the changing table into their SUV. This isn't over. Sarah hissed, mascara running down her face, her eyes blazing with pure hatred. You'll regret this. I doubt it. I opened the front door wider, a silent invitation for them to leave. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to finish packing. The new owners want to do a final walkthrough tomorrow. Ruby, please. My mother tried one last time, her voice pleading. We can work this out. I thought about all the times I'd given in to that plea. All the times I'd sacrificed my own needs to work things out for Sarah. Not anymore. The house was mine, I said calmly, my voice steady. I sold it. Have a nice move. I closed the door on their shocked faces, listening to Sarah's wails turn to angry screams outside. Through the window, I watched as another car pulled up for the free furniture while my family stood frozen in disbelief. Harper stopped recording and gave me a high five. That was beautiful. It's not over, I said, hearing Sarah kick the U-Haul's tire in frustration. They'll be back. Let them come, Harper grinned. We've got it all on video. Outside, the sold sign gleamed in the afternoon sun, a beacon of my liberation. And somewhere across town, in a peaceful condo overlooking a park, my daughter's new room was waiting. Free of family drama, free of manipulation, and most importantly, free of Sarah. My phone hadn't stopped buzzing for 3 days. I scrolled through the messages while Lily napped in her new room, the afternoon sun streaming through the Parkview windows. You've reached a new low, read my aunt's text. Your poor sister is devastated. How could you do this to your family? Demanded my cousin. Your father is heartbroken, my mother wrote. He had to take a day off work. The voicemails were worse. Ruby, it's mom again. Sarah's been throwing up from stress. If anything happens to this baby, it's on you. Call me back. Hey sis, it's me. My lawyer says what you did could be considered emotional distress. Just letting you know. Harper sat across from me at my new kitchen island, reading the messages over my shoulder. Your sister has a lawyer now? She dated one for 2 weeks last year. He gave her his card when she keyed his car. Of course he did. Harper grabbed my phone. That's it. We're blocking them all. Wait. I reached for the phone, but Harper held it away. No waiting. Look at you. You haven't slept properly since the move. You jump every time your phone buzzes. This isn't healthy. She was right. I'd spent 3 nights lying awake, replaying the looks on their faces when they saw the sold sign. The way Sarah's voice cracked when she realized I wasn't joking. My father's disappointed headshake. I swallowed hard. Part of me still wants them to understand, to finally see things from my perspective. They won't, Harper said gently. They've had 32 years to see your perspective. They're not going to start now. My phone buzzed again. This time it was Sarah posting on Facebook. Some people think money and success give them the right to destroy families. Karma will come for those who hurt pregnant women. Hashtag toxic, hashtag betrayed, hashtag family trauma. The comments flooded in immediately. Stay strong, girl. Some sisters are just jealous of new babies. Can't believe anyone would do this to their pregnant sister. Harper made a disgusted noise. Oh, that's rich coming from the woman who announced her pregnancy at her niece's first birthday party. A knock at the door made us both jump. Through the peephole, I saw Chad shifting awkwardly in the hallway. Should I call security? Harper whispered. I shook my head and opened the door. What do you want, Chad? He looked worse than usual, unshaven, wearing a wrinkled t-shirt with what looked like yesterday's pizza stains. She's staying at my place and losing her mind. You broke her, Ruby. I broke her. I laughed incredulously. She tried to take my house. Look, I get it wasn't cool how she asked, but asked. I cut him off, my voice sharp. She didn't ask. She announced it at my daughter's birthday party and expected me to just hand over my home. Just like she's expected me to hand over everything else her entire life. Chad ran a hand through his greasy hair. She's pregnant, man. With my kid. We need help. Then help her yourself. Get a job. Be an actual partner instead of another problem for her to dump on me. You don't understand. No, you don't understand. I stepped into the hallway, closing the door so Lily wouldn't wake up. For years, I've watched Sarah bounce between guys like you. Men who think their problems are everyone else's responsibility. And every time she crashes and burns, guess who has to clean up the mess? Not anymore. She's your sister, and I'm done being her safety net. I pulled out my phone, showing him Sarah's Facebook post. Tell her if she wants to talk about karma. She should remember every rent check I covered, every crisis I solved, every time I put her first. Then she can talk about karma. Chad's face hardened. Sarah's right. You're just jealous because she's having a baby and you're alone. I laughed so hard I had to lean against the wall, the absurdity of it hitting me. I have a beautiful daughter, a successful career, and now a peaceful home where no one can guilt me into fixing their lives. Trust me, I'm not jealous. He opened his mouth to argue, but Harper appeared in the doorway, her arms crossed. I believe my friend asked you to leave. After he skulked away, Harper handed me back my phone. Ready to block them now? I looked at the screen. 3 more missed calls from my mother, 2 texts from Sarah, and a group chat message from my father asking the extended family to pray for Ruby's heart to soften. Do it, I said. Block them all. As Harper systematically blocked every family contact, I felt a weight lift from my shoulders. Through the window, I could see the park where I take Lily to play later. No drama, no guilt, no manipulation. There, Harper announced, handing back my phone. Now it's just you, me, and that bottle of wine I brought to celebrate your freedom. From the bedroom, I heard Lily stirring from her nap. Make that you, me, Lily, and wine. Perfect combination, Harper smiled. The only family you need. I can't believe I let you talk me into this. I muttered to Harper as we sat in the neutral territory of her apartment, waiting for Sarah to arrive. 2 weeks had passed since the moving day showdown, and my sister had finally agreed to meet, but only with Harper mediating. She needs to hear it, Harper said, arranging coffee cups on the table. And you need to say it. All of it. The doorbell rang exactly on time. A first for Sarah, who'd never been punctual in her life. When Harper opened the door, my sister walked in looking like she'd dressed for a funeral. Black maternity dress, dark circles under her eyes, one hand protectively over her barely showing stomach. Ruby, her voice was cold. Sarah, mine was colder. Harper gestured to the couch. Let's all sit down. Coffee. Tea. I can't have caffeine, Sarah sniffed. Because of the baby. Not that some people care about that. Water it is, Harper said cheerfully, though I caught her eye roll. We sat in awkward silence until Harper cleared her throat. Sarah, you wanted to talk, so talk. Sarah's lower lip trembled. I just want to understand how you could be so evil. Taking away my baby's future home. Your baby's future home? I interrupted. You mean my house, the one I bought, the one I've been paying for? We're family. Sarah's voice rose, cracking. Family helps each other. Like you helped me when Lily was born. I leaned forward, a bitter laugh escaping me. Oh wait, you didn't. You were too busy backpacking through Thailand with what's his name. That's not fair. I was finding myself. while I was changing diapers and working 60-hour weeks alone. Sarah's face crumpled. I'm trying to do better now. I want to be a good mom, like you. I thought you'd help me. By giving you my house. By sharing. By being a sister. Tears spilled down her cheeks. But you're just selfish and bitter and selfish. I stood up so fast my coffee cup rattled, my chair scraping back loudly. Let's talk about selfish, Sarah. Let's talk about the time you maxed out my credit card buying festival tickets. Or when you borrowed my car and got 3 parking tickets you never paid. Or how about when you got fired from the job I got you because you were too hungover to show up? I was going through things, she wailed. You're always going through things, and I'm always expected to fix them. I was shouting now, years of suppressed rage finally breaking free. Do you know what it's like to be the responsible one? To watch your sister wreck everything she touches while everyone expects you to clean up the mess? That's not. When was the last time you asked about my life? About Lily? When was the last time you showed up for anyone but yourself? Sarah stood too, mascara running down her face. You think you're so perfect. Miss Independent with her perfect job and perfect house and perfect life. Well, guess what? Some of us struggle. Some of us need help. Help is one thing. Entitlement is another. I took a deep, shaky breath. I finally realized something, Sarah. None of you ever loved me unconditionally. You only loved what I could give. The room went silent. Except for Sarah's ragged breathing. That's not true, she whispered, her voice barely audible. No, I challenged. Then name one time. Just one. When you put my needs before yours. Sarah opened her mouth, then closed it. Her hand drifted to her stomach again. A gesture that once would have made me cave, would have sent me rushing to fix everything. Not anymore. I have something now that I own completely. I said quietly, my voice imbued with a newfound strength. Peace. And I won't let you take that too. So that's it. Sarah's voice cracked. You're just done? With me? With all of us? I'm done being the family ATM. I'm done being the responsible one who has to sacrifice everything. I'm done watching you take and take and take. Harper, who'd been silent throughout our exchange, finally spoke. Sarah, I think it's time for you to go. My sister gathered her purse with shaking hands. At the door, she turned back. You'll regret this. When my baby's born and you're not in their life. No. I cut her off, my gaze steady, unwavering. You'll regret this. When your baby's born and you finally understand what it means to be responsible for someone else's happiness. When you realize that burning bridges has consequences. She stared at me for a long moment, then left without another word. Through the window, I watched her walk to her car, alone, probably for the first time in her life. Harper touched my shoulder. You okay? I wiped away tears I hadn't realized were falling. No, but I will be. Want to go get Lily from daycare and take her to the park? I nodded, thinking of my daughter's innocent smile, her unconditional love. Yeah, let's go home. Because that's what I had now. Not just a house, but a real home. One built on my terms, free from the weight of toxic family obligations. Here, mama. Lily squealed as I pushed her on the park swing. The autumn breeze carried the sound of her laughter across the playground, mixing with the rustle of falling leaves. My phone buzzed in my pocket, probably another blocked message from my family. They'd taken to creating new accounts just to tell me how cruel I was. I'd gotten good at blocking those too. Ruby. A familiar voice made me turn. Sarah stood at the edge of the playground, her pregnancy now clearly visible under a loose sweater. She looked different, tired, but somehow more real than I'd ever seen her. I slowed Lily's swing. What are you doing here? I live nearby now, actually. She gestured to a small apartment building across from the park. Chad and I broke up. I got a job at the coffee shop downstairs. That explained why she looked different. She was wearing a barista's apron instead of her usual designer clothes. You're working? I couldn't keep the surprise from my voice. Yeah. She smiled weakly. Turns out when you can't rely on someone else to fix everything, you have to fix it yourself. Lily pointed at Sarah's belly. Baby. That's right, sweetie, Sarah said softly. Your cousin's in there. I helped Lily out of the swing. Why are you here, Sarah? I had my first ultrasound yesterday. She pulled a grainy black and white photo from her apron pocket. It's a girl. And it made me think about Mom, about how she always played us against each other, about how I let her do it because it was easier than growing up. I sat on an empty swing, pushing myself slightly with one foot while Lily played in the sand nearby. Did Mom send you? No. She doesn't know I'm here. She's still. Sarah sighed. She's still Mom. But I'm trying not to be, well, me. What does that mean? It means, I'm sorry. The words came out in a rush, a genuine apology. Not just for the house thing. For everything. For being the hurricane that blew through your life. Expecting you to rebuild everything I destroyed. I studied her face, looking for the manipulation I'd grown so used to seeing. Instead, I found something new, accountability. The thing is, she continued, her voice softer, more hesitant, when Chad left and Mom started talking about me moving back home, I realized I was about to do to my daughter what Mom did to us. Make her part of this cycle of dependency, of never growing up. So, you got a job instead. And an apartment. It's tiny, and the elevator doesn't work, and I have to make coffee for rude people at 6 a.m. But, she straightened her apron, a newfound pride in her posture. It's mine. I did it myself. Lily ran over with a handful of sand, proudly showing it to both of us before letting it slip through her fingers. I'm not asking for anything, Sarah said quickly, almost anxiously. I want my daughter to know her cousin, to know what strength looks like. Because that's what you are, Ruby. Strong. Not cruel, like Mom says. Strong. I watched Lily playing, thinking about all the times I'd wished for this. For Sarah to finally see me. Really see me. There's a coffee shop near my condo too, I said finally. Are they treating you better at yours? Sarah laughed. A real laugh. Not her usual practiced giggle. The tips are decent, and my manager says I'm getting better at not burning the lattes. Lily and I usually get hot chocolate there on Sunday mornings around 9 o'clock. She caught her breath. Yeah? Yeah. And sometimes we feed the ducks after, when we're not too busy. I'd like that. She wiped her eyes. God, these pregnancy hormones are killer. Tell me about it. I chuckled. I cried at a paper towel commercial when I was pregnant with Lily. We shared a smile, small, tentative, but real. I should get back to work, Sarah said, adjusting her apron. But, Sunday. I nodded. Sunday. As she walked away, Lily waved. Bye-bye, baby. You know what, sweetie? I scooped her up, breathing in her baby shampoo smell. I think we just said hello instead. That evening, as I tucked Lily into bed in our cozy condo, I thought about karma. Everyone had expected it to look like revenge, like my family getting what they deserved. Instead, it looked like Sarah in an apron, learning to stand on her own. Like me, learning to set boundaries without burning every bridge. Sometimes karma isn't about monsters getting punished. Sometimes, it's about people finally facing themselves in the mirror. I kissed Lily's forehead and whispered, "Sweet dreams, baby girl." Because that's what I really bought when I sold that house. Not just peace, but the chance for a new story. One where strength didn't mean carrying everyone else's burdens, and family didn't mean sacrificing yourself. One where bye-bye house meant hello to something better.